So obviously 20 years since the first episode of The Bungalow was aired. A lot has changed in the world since then. Were you both living together when that show started?
Yeah, not only did we present Dick and Dom and The Bungalow together for 5 years, we also lived together. We shared a flat in London, which was a crazy time as well, because what we did in the flat was very much like what happened on the TV show.
So there's this survey that 39% of 18 to 25-year-old renters have a designated bills boss in their household. I would say that is me in my relationship with my girlfriend. So obviously it's a different dynamic with you two, but own up. Who was the bills boss?
Well, you decide, shall we? Was it Dick, who was the taller of Dick and Dom, or Dom, who was the smaller of Dick and Dom? Which out of us two do you think is more responsible and would be sorting out the bills?
My money's on Dick.
Everyone says the same. Why?
Well, it's nothing against you, Dom. I just feel like Dick's got his head screwed on a little bit more and is a little bit more focused on that sort of thing.
So, yeah, when we shared a flat, I suppose you would call me the bills boss. I was the one that sorted the bills out, worked out how much we both owed, and also kept my eye on how much energy was being used. I remember once me and Dom had an argument because I told him to turn the heating off and put a jumper on for the rest of the day instead of having the heating on. Now, we're talking peak winter here. There are no lights on, and we were jumpers whilst watching telly. You didn't make a jump up and play charades instead of watching telly. Saved a fortune.
Was that a common thing between you both then, constantly nagging each other for things like that to keep?
No, do you know what? It was absolutely fine. We actually had an absolute scream, and then Rich got a girlfriend, I got a girlfriend, and then we moved out and then we didn't live together anymore. We had an absolute riot. So we got to then do Dick and Dom in the Bungalow, which was like living together again, but on telly.
Yeah, very different though from actually sharing an actual house to on telly.
Well, it was, but do you know what though? The thing that kept the arguments at bay when we were living together, the arguments would have been a lot less if we had something like a smart meter, so we could actually monitor who's using what electricity and when and how much the bills are coming to and who's responsible for it. But we didn't have one back then, so just ended in fights.
So on smart meters then, why do you think they're such an important part of managing bills?
Well, we've just got a smart meter in our family home, and like Dom said, if we had one when we were living together back in our late teen... Something's just got...
Right there.
Bacon. Bit of mango stuck down your throat. Sorry, I'll start that answer again.
That's all right.
Yeah, actually, we just got a smart meter in our family home, and like Dom said, if we'd had one when we... after lunch... Yeah, we just got a smart meter in our family home. And like Dom said, if we'd had one when we lived together, it would have saved a lot of arguments because they're brilliant. You can see how much energy you're using or not using. And each appliance, you can see how much it costs. So when we put the tumble dryer on at home, you can now see how much more that costs. And now we use it every other day instead of every day. So they really help on your energy bills.
Look, we all know your energy bills are not going to ever reach what they were. We know that. But what you can do is try and get them down as much as you possibly can whilst living a comfortable life. But, you almost like living in a human game show, turning off all the lights, boiling small amounts of water in your kettle. Don't worry about the dishwasher. Do stuff by hand. Have a shower instead of a bath. Dry your clothes above the radiator instead of the tumble dryer. There are tons of things that you can do to get the little reading on your smart screen down.
So what are your top tips then? Like you say, do washing up by hand. What would you say are your three main top tips?
Well, I would say insulation is one of the top tips, but that involves paying out for an insulated house. So for many people, that's not possible right now. So insulate yourself. That is, it sounds ridiculous, but if you wear bed socks, around the house, one of the little grippers on the bottom, and you wear a warm dressing gown and warm pajamas, you won't be cold, and as opposed to walking around in thin pajamas with the heating on. That is just literally so simple, but it's going to save you money.
Yeah, don't have a bath, have a shower. I know we all love a bath, but it does save a lot of money on hot water. Heating that water to put in your bath. If you just have a shower, which takes a lot less time and less energy. And then the third one is literally get a smart meter, because then at least you are going to be fully aware. Now, look, if you're a tenant, it's always best to ask your landlord if it's possible to get one of these put in. There shouldn't be any problems at all, but it's just, just the right thing to do. Yeah, call up your energy company as well, or go to smartenergygb.org to find out more information.
What would you say to young renters who are perhaps looking to rent for the first time? What would your advice to them be for things to kind of be savvy on and to look out for?
What, as in for the smart meter or... Just generally,
in terms of keeping their bills down, keeping their costs down for people who, for example, people who have just fresh out of uni and they're getting on the renting ladder for the first time and they maybe haven't experienced how expensive bills are. What's your advice to young renters?
Well, young renters and students, I mean, it's difficult because you all want to go out and party like we did, but you have to try and find one person in the household that's slightly sensible and will look after the energy bills. Yeah, so get the bill boss assigned. But then what you all have to do, you have to respect that person and listen to them. So when they're chasing for the bills to be paid, you must pay them on time because it's coming out of their bank. And also, if they are giving tips on how to reduce the energy costs within reason, work together as a team. The other good thing about a smart reader is you don't have to try and mess around trying to send the meter readings to the energy company. It does it all for you, so it's going to be exactly right, and hopefully you'll save a bit more money.